Greetings and welcome to today's video. Today we are continuing with The Way of the Superior Man. We'll be reading chapter 5. Always hold your deepest realization. Eternity must be a man's home, moment by moment. Without it, he is lost, always striving, grasping at puffs of smoke. A man must do anything necessary to glimpse and then stabilize this ever-fresh realization and organize his life around it. Make life your ongoing process of who you are at your most easeful levels of being. Everything other than this is secondary. Your job, your children, your wife, your money, your artistic creations, your pleasures. They're all superficial and empty if they're not floating in the deep sea of your conscious loving. How many hours today was your attention focused on the realm of changes, on events, people, thoughts, and experiences? And how often was your attention relaxed into its source? Where is your attention right now? Can you feel its source? Even for a moment, can you feel that which makes attention conscious and aware? Can you feel the deepest nature of attention? What happens when you simply, effortlessly allow attention to subside into its source? The first paragraph simply explains what mindfulness is. Being mindful and being aware of what and who you are within every single given moment. Where is your attention coming from? Where are you coming from? Who are you within a certain moment in time? Who are you around your wife? Who are you around your children? Who are you at work? Who are you when you're alone? Are you able to understand where you are coming from? Where this attention is coming from? Because the source of this attention is always there. Every moment that you become aware, every moment you gain awareness, you must be aware of that specific awareness, and remember that awareness comes from somewhere, and where that awareness comes from is where you come from. It's a bit of a thought twister trying to think of where your attention comes from and paying attention to where your attention comes from. That is where the practice of mindfulness comes in. Practice where your thoughts come from. Practice being aware of where your thoughts come from, and being aware where that place comes from, and being aware where that place comes from. That was a bit funny. The source is never changing and always present. It is the constant, silent tone behind the pervading music of life. Feel into this source as deeply as possible, then reapproach your work, intimacy, family, and creative efforts. When you make money from this source. Find out what happens to the details of your life when you live more consistently from this source. This is what they mean by always hold to your deepest realization. The moment that you realize that you have realized your being, your nature, who you truly are behind everything else. If you do not know who this is, I would recommend that you take yourself outside of your specific situation, outside your specific environment, and put yourself in a natural place. Put yourself in a natural place where you can be surrounded by trees, surrounded by just the sky, or even a river. And sit with yourself, your thoughts, your surroundings, and try and understand what that is without the influence of work, without the influence of your friends, your peers, your creative process, and simply understand who that person is and where they come from. What is it that they want to do? Why do they want to do what they want to do? You will learn a lot about yourself when you get into that mindful process of being mindful of who you're being especially by yourself. And if who you are by yourself alone in a natural setting is different from who you are around the people that you love, your peers, your work environment, then you need to understand who that self is, that very personal self, because that's who you are when you're alone. That's who you are when you're by yourself. And if you don't know who they are, then you won't know who they are, because they are being influenced by your work peers, by your creative process, by your money-making strategies. Whatever it is that you are working with is definitely being influenced by what it's surrounded by, because you are unaware of who you are at your deepest moment, at your deepest realization. Use A's to support your realization into and creation from this source. Read books that remind you of who you are in truth. Spend time with people who inspire and reflect this source to you, and reflect the source to you. Meditate, contemplate, or pray daily so that you steep yourself into the source. You steep yourself, dip yourself deep into the source. If you're like most men, you have strong habits that revert your attention to the events and tasks of the day. Days and nights fly by for years, and life slips through your fingers. Your attention absorbed in the seeming world of necessary responsibilities. But all of it is empty if we do not live our responsibilities as expressions of our depth of being and heart truth. It's self-explanatory. Coming in deep into your deepest realization. I'm literally repeating the things I just said before. Meditating, praying, being by yourself, journaling, learning how to understand yourself for yourself, and always connecting to yourself, this source of yourself, without the influence of your work, your colleagues, your family, your girlfriend, your wife, boyfriend, whoever. All of this will remain empty. It'll always be empty if you are not sitting within yourself. You must sit within yourself and understand yourself for yourself, and use that understanding to make real connections with others who are also within their deepest realizations. You are a walking source of attention, who is paying attention to another walking source of attention. Now, if you don't pay attention to yourself, you will pay attention to something else, and that's where your currency is going. Remember, your attention is your currency. Pay yourself your own currency. Imagine paying attention to attention. There we go. Know eternity. Do whatever it takes, and from this depth of being, live the details of your life. But if you postpone the process of submerging yourself into the source for the sake of taking care of your business first, your life will be spent in hours and days of business, and then it will be gone. Only if you are well grounded in that which is larger than life will you be able to play life with humor, knowing that each task is a mirage of necessity. Even if you find yourself in some trivial moment, watching TV, or even cleaning up a mess in the kitchen, feel the truth of who you are. Feel the boundless cognizance in which each instant seems and vanishes. All moments are the same intensity of clarity, completeness, and humor. And when you meet each moment with your deepest realization, nothing that has ever happened has made any difference to the one you are. Long story short, you must meditate or journal, pray, and practice any activity that keeps you connected to the source of deep realization, that connects you to this deep attention, that keeps you mindful of your own attention without having any outside influences coming into that realization and realizing that it is only you who is present within you, within your moment in time. And once you become present in that moment in time, live by this presence, live with this source, with your peers, your work colleagues, your friends, the pets, the trees, the air. Live with this realization, this mindfulness, and give it to the world. That's it, gentlemen. That's the chapter that we'll leave you with. Chapter 5, Know Your Deepest Realization. Remember to share this with your friends, your family, your peers. Put a comment down below of what you learned today, because I believe today's lesson is a lesson that you may have to carry for the rest of your life. This is a very powerful lesson. Share this with your friends, your family, your cousins, anybody, because this is very valuable information that changes their lives. And remember, never be afraid to be too manly. Peace.